Good morning, Year 4. Are you ready for your Tuesday English lesson? I'm going to share my screen with you. Just make that screen a bit bigger. Okay, lovely. Now this week we're going to start a new piece of learning. We're going to be writing a persuasive leaflet. So let me just talk you through our learning journey for the next 2 weeks. Today we're going to be looking at some examples of leaflets, persuasive leaflets. Then we're going to be doing some research from Wednesday onwards about the Romans. And then we're going to be looking at some grammar to find out how to write a leaflet. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of modelling and sharing writing. We'll be planning our own leaflet, and then we'll be creating a leaflet and publishing it using the ICT, sort of using a computer. So can I ask you please today to write today's learning objective and today's date. So it's Tuesday the 26th of January, and today's learning objective is to find the features of a persuasive leaflet. Thank you. Okay, now I need you to imagine today that we're going to step into our time machine and we're going to go all the way back into the past, to the time of the Romans and Celts. We need to imagine that we live back then. So jump into your time machine now and let's whiz back to the Roman era. Okay, now the year is 43 AD. That means it's 43 years after the birth of Jesus. And Emperor Claudius is in charge of Rome. He's the Roman emperor. And he is determined to make Britain part of the Roman Empire. Do you remember what that word empire means? We've used it lots in year 3 and year 4. It's when you own a load of other places. If you're a country, you own different countries around the world. Let's have a look at what his Roman Empire looks like at the moment. So in 44 BC, it looked a bit like this. He owned all of this land here. All the bits in blue. But he wants the bits in yellow. So he's going to try and invade this country, Britain. Okay? Now, the Celts don't feel very happy about this, and he's received this letter. Let's read it. Dear Emperor, it goes without saying that you are a very inspirational leader to your people, the Romans. Surely you must want them to live long and prosperous lives under your rule. I'm writing to you today to demand that your Roman people do not invade Britain, as we are free people. We refuse to be your slaves, give you our treasures, or let you eat from our harvests. Not now, not ever. Undoubtedly, this land belongs to us, the Celts. We have been here for thousands of years, and we are not going anywhere. Seizing our land and displacing our people is completely unjustified. You have your land, Rome. This is where your people should stay. Should you disagree, you and your people will come to a treacherous end. Ultimately, the fate of your people is in your hands. I hope you make the right choice and decide not to invade us. Oh dear. It doesn't sound like the Celts are going to be particularly happy about having Romans leading them. Now, you're going to need to respond to this, and you're going to need to respond, first of all, in a persuasive way. We're going to create a leaflet, a Roman leaflet, to persuade the Celts to accept Roman rule. You're going to invade them anyway, but let's first of all try and persuade them that living under Roman rule will be a good thing. Let's look at some leaflet examples to find the features so we know how to make one this week. Now, I've got here 2 examples of persuasive leaflets. They've got nothing to do with the Romans, but they are still persuasive leaflets, and we can find the kind of writing features in them to help us. Now, some of you, all of you will be reading this one about the Austrian Alps. Some of you want a bit of an extra challenge this week. You could read this one, Why You Should Drink Water. So both of you, both texts should be read by some people, but others will just be reading just this one. It would be a good idea to read them with a grown-up, because remember, when we're reading, we sometimes notice there's words we're not too sure about. Good readers do that, and we'll need to fix the meaning. Maybe your grown-up will be able to help you with that. Maybe you can look a word up in a dictionary, or perhaps you can use an online dictionary to help you. I would pause the video now and spend 10 or so minutes reading through those carefully. Well done. Now that you have read those through carefully, and hopefully you have done that out loud with a grown-up, I'd like you in your book to draw a grid that looks a bit like this. You're going to probably need to take one page and turn it on its side so it's landscape. You're going to need to have a ruler, and you're going to need to draw a table. Remember to use the lines in your book to help you, okay? Each row should have about 4 lines, so you've got plenty of room to write into this space. Write out these subheadings in each box, and remember to spell things correctly. Okay, pause the video and do that now. Well done. Okay, now that you've drawn that, let's just see what we're going to do. You're going to go back now to your reading, and you're going to find some examples of those features. So first of all, you're looking for descriptions. Remember, descriptions are where we're using noun phrases. Let's just type that in so we can remember. So, can you find any examples of noun phrases? Remember, adjective, adjective, noun, or adjective, noun, or adjective, 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 noun. That's what we're looking for in our writing for great descriptions. Can you find any directive language? That's the language that sounds a bit bossy. It's kind of the language that probably teachers use quite a lot of the time. So do you find there's anything in the leaflet that sounds a bit bossy? Underline that now. And then fill in your sheet. Now find some rhetorical questions. Now remember, we've done rhetorical questions before. We did those when we did our Gandhi speech, so we know what they are. But let's just remind ourselves, rhetorical questions are the questions that you ask that you don't expect anyone to answer. So find some examples of rhetorical questions and write them here. Now have a look through your leaflet. Now remember, the leaflets are going to be written directly to someone. They want someone to pick them up and feel like they're being spoken to by somebody else. So they use personal pronouns leaflets quite a lot. For example, he, she, the ones we're going to be looking for mainly are you, okay? So see if you can find some examples of you in the text. Finally, are there any examples of informal language? For example, does it feel like the leaflet is written in a chatty kind of way? Can you find any examples that might sound like someone's chatting to somebody else? It's not like the formal language that you use in a speech. This is slightly different. It's like the kind of language you might use if you're talking to your friend. Pause the video now and find those examples and write them in the text boxes. Well done. Okay, now let's just check we found some features. I'm going to look at just this little part of the text. I'm not going to look at all of it. I'm going to see if I can find some of these. I might not be able to find all of them. I'm going to start with descriptions. I think there's a good chance there's some really good descriptions here. I'm going to use the colour yellow for this, so I'm going to underline some yellow descriptions. So here we got here, the Alps is the highest mountain range in Europe. It remains the best kept secret. That's a lovely description. Best kept secret for nature lovers and families. With lots to keep you busy, everyone can find a great choice of exciting activities. Another bit of description there. Unspoilt environment, stunning scenery, and glorious sunshine. So there's some examples there. I've just noted a little mistake actually. I'm going to cross out a word there that I don't think we need. That's a typo. Okay, let's go and see now if we can find any directive language. This is the bossy language that I was talking about, you know, the language that teachers like to use. Oh no, I don't want that colour. Let's go for green this time. Okay, any bossy language. Let's have a look. Now I'm looking at this paragraph here and I can see here, rest and take in the views. It sounds like someone's commanding me to rest and take in the views. It's not please rest, it's rest. So it's written in quite a bossy way. I think the Romans probably were quite bossy. I think they probably used that language quite a lot. Come and find lovely hidden cafes. Again, it sounds like it's bossing me and telling me to definitely do that. So there's our directive language. Now I'm going to find some examples of rhetorical questions. Now they're easy to spot because we know that questions always have a question mark, and I can see straight away by skimming and scanning, here is a question. Do you want to experience the mountains from an amazing height? Yes, please, I'd love to. So there you go, example of rhetorical question. I answered that rhetorical question actually, which you're not supposed to do. So remember, that question isn't being asked, so you'd answer it except in your mind. What else? Personal pronouns. Let's have a look. Are there any personal pronouns? Well, if I go back to my rhetorical question, it feels like the person who's written this is talking directly to me. Do you? So that's my personal pronoun. And is it written in an informal way? Well, the fact that there is a rhetorical question there like that, and the fact that it is quite bossy, tells me it's a little bit informal. So yes, there's not lots of examples of informal language in this part, but you might find more in one of the other leaflets. Okay, now hopefully you found some good examples. I'd like you to take a picture of your work today. So take a picture of your table so I can see that you found some examples that you'll have written in here. And I look forward to tomorrow finding out more about the Roman way of life so we can try and think about what we're going to write to these Celts. Okay, have a lovely morning, Year 4, and I'll speak to you soon.